Hi, and welcome to the second edition of the BW Momentum Conference 2025. Today we're here with Nimish.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about influencer marketing with you, since you have some pretty interesting opinions on influencer marketing. So, you talked about how younger people don't necessarily respond that well to branded content, that young people don't necessarily find influencers particularly engaging to watch.
Yeah, I mean, say I was doing a lecture at the Geo Institute and talking to a bunch of 14 to 15-year-olds, and I asked them a question. So, what are the streamers that you guys follow, or what streams do you guys watch, specifically from a gaming perspective? And I would say, out of the class of 65 kids, I think almost like 55 odd just said that they watch a stream for maximum like half an hour, and they get really bored, and they don't like to watch any influencer streams. They prefer watching reels, and it was very shocking for me because brands have burned a lot of cash, and they could probably spend that money on a lot of better things. I think there's no substitute for experiential marketing. You cannot not have the touch and feel of a brand. You cannot not talk to your consumer. You have no idea who you're talking to. Half the time you're talking to bots on platforms. So that's my opinion. I like to stay in the real world. Not saying that digital world's not real, but a lot of it can be fake at times.
Amazing. So you're saying that brands aren't actually seeing a lot of ROI. They're putting a lot of money into like reels and influencer marketing, but they're not actually getting the return on investment that they think they're getting.
Yeah, I think it depends on how you define ROI, right? Like some people link it to sales. I'm saying, you have a good product, it really doesn't matter, it'll sell. So if a brand manager goes and says, "Oh, I did this Instagram campaign with this influencer, and it spiked up my sales," if he does probably any kind of other sensible marketing and the product's good, it'll sell. So yeah, I would say targeted advertising is different, right? That's not influencer marketing. I put a normal ad on Instagram and I wait on permutation combination. If I'm reaching out to a million people throwing my ad at their face, and 10% of them click onto it, and then another 10% of them actually go and buy it, is that really great ROI? I don't know. We say it's just lazy marketing. And I also believe that these matrix of number of views and number of clicks and these are made to be complicated for a reason, because there is this bunch of media agencies behind all of this that makes tons of money, and a lazy marketer. Like, think about it. Like, somebody graduates at 21, goes to one of the fancy MBAs, comes out by 24, starts working in a brand. He has absolutely no work life experience. Like, he has no real time experience. He's gonna be like, okay, I'll put this money, I'll show some numbers to my boss. It's very funny because it's like this ladder, like, I want to show this report to my boss, and he's going to show the report to his boss. And not all brands, but that seems to be the trend, where we don't really understand what's really happening, but we're all part of this really weird rat race where we want to speak the same language. So, like, you genuinely meet a brand manager and you ask him, okay, so what does this like really mean? Like, what is this engagement rate? What does it mean? Like, and probably they will not be able to answer that, because they are so used to just using these keywords in their meetings, but in real life they mean nothing. Versus the world was so much more simpler back in the day, right? I have a product for 5 rupees, I sell it for 7 rupees, 2 rupees is my profit. To make that 7 rupees, I put a banner up on my shop, I talk to people. There was influencer marketing back in the day as well. People would go and talk about how great your mithai was, and you go from village to village and word of mouth.
Nisha auntie was the influencer back in the day.
Nothing can replace word of mouth. At the end of the day, what you're trying to do with influencer is word of mouth, but it's not authentic anymore. Like, the nuances of word of mouth marketing has to be, you need to be honest and authentic. And I think that's what we've lost somewhere. I think brands that really believe in the idea of word of mouth do some really great work. And biggest example is Red Bull, right? You don't need to sell Red Bull to anyone. Everyone knows energy drink. By default they think about Red Bull. But it's years of word of mouth marketing again and again, again and again. They also work with influencers, but it's just the way you work with them. If you don't have a genuine, like, you really believe that. I mean, recently I saw a really very funny campaign, not really influencer marketing, but brand endorsement by Shah Rukh Khan and some cleaning toilet company. And it's like, dude, that man must have never picked up his broom in his life. Like, forget about him trying to clean his, toilet. it's funny. They want it for awareness, but like what? What influence is it going to create? You know, is the mother in the house or the housewife in the house going to buy a particular? Maybe she actually might buy a toilet based on the fact that it's Shah Rukh Khan, because she likes him or something, or she grew up with watching him. But it's funny. It's just it's it doesn't have to be so complicated, but we made it complicated because the more complicated it stays, the more easier it is for everyone to just be like, I have a job. You know? Because if it all comes out, a lot of jobs will not be existing. You know.
Amazing. Okay, let's talk about the gaming industry a little bit. Now, most people already know you guys, but what kind of unique marketing strategies do you think the gaming industry can use to make themselves more visible to people that want to invest in the gaming industry or people who might be interested in investing?
Uh, I I think it's a tricky one because I don't know whether I want a lot of people to get into games. You know, I genuinely believe that the industry is doing so well because it is a great industry. You know, it is genuinely built with community. It's built with character. It's built with love for video games. And a lot of times you see this, right? In any industry, when you get outside money, when you get investors, nobody hates money. Everyone loves money. But if you get investors who come in with traditional approaches of ROIs and money, it can be a little tricky because they don't understand gaming. They understand the language of money. They believe that things need to be 10x, 20x in a certain amount of time. And we've seen that. We've seen really bad, heavy investments made in video games in early 2021, and they all backfired because the expectation was, everything's like these keywords, right? There was metaverse, and then there was NEFTs, and everything's disappeared now. 3 years back, people were pumping money left, right, and center. I'm going to link the crypto wallet to my video games, and people are going to like get these NFTs, and they're going to have like this really cool stuff. Where are those companies now? Like, people have lost their jobs, they're all gone. So I think somewhere I believe that the industry of video games is also very simple. You make a video game, people play that video game. It doesn't have to be, again, complicated, right? But the only way you can raise money is if you make it too complicated for investors to understand. And then there are some smart investors who've been with us, not with Nordwind, but with other gaming companies who've been with us for a long time and understand video games. In fact, certain funds and investment funds that are actually started by gamers, who can call the bullshit, and invest the right way. So yeah, I would say if you ask me personally, I want gaming to stay gaming. I don't want it. It's already mainstream. We don't need. I would say we don't need other industries to validate us anymore.
I see.
I think there was a time where people were like, "Oh, it's gaming mainstream. Does it need to be validated?" I think we are the cool kids on the block right now, and everyone else is getting older, and they realize that it's somewhere like how Rolling Stones is in music, right? Like where Rolling Stones as a magazine eventually only catered to the Mick Jaggers of the world for a very long time, and they found it very difficult to move to hip hop and move to other genres of music. When the younger generation picked up and said, I don't listen to rock and roll anymore.
Yeah.
Like Rolling Stones was all about rock and roll, and they could not reinvent themselves for a very long time. And I think somewhere gaming is like that, where we are so in sync with today's world, and we are so in sync with the digital world that it's difficult to segregate talking about youngsters and not talking about gaming, right? So we are in like the right space right now, and then everyone wants a pie of that because they're like, oh, kids, how do I talk to kids? They don't watch cricket. They don't watch, movies. They don't even watch any serials anymore. They play sport, but they play alternate sports. So what are they doing? They're playing video games. And so everyone wants to jump into it. But what they don't realize is that kids have this phenomena where the minute the masses come to where the kids are, they will always run away from you. So it's very funny when you say influencer marketing and brands talk about influencer marketing. The kids are already running away from you. You're trying to spend all these, and it's happened before, right? Make Facebook pages, spend millions and millions of dollars on Facebook. It's a cool platform. Your parents came on the platform, the kids ran away from it. Kids went to Instagram. Let's bombard Instagram. Instagram pages, brand pages, that influencer, this influencer. They said, screw Instagram. I'm going to go to Snapchat. They fucked up Snapchat. Now I don't know what the next one's going to be, right? The kids are like, I don't want to be in Snapchat. I want to be in Discord. I want to be in video games. Now they come to video games. Are the kids going to run away from video games? I don't know. So the kids are always running away from you because they don't want to talk to you. You know, inherently, children don't want to be disturbed. They are like, oh, leave us. Every every generation youth will always want to have their own representation. They don't want to be represented by old people. You know, it's like I'm 40 years old. Like when I was growing up, I didn't want my father to tell me what to wear, what not to wear. That's what happens in the world, but in the whole structure in that manner where we need to understand that the younger generation will always want to have their own voice. And if you can't give it to them, they will run away from you. And with influencer marketing, I think it's come to that point where if brands don't understand this concept where you need to work with the right influencer to really influence your target audience. And if you can't do that, they're not going to like you. You know? Yeah. That's a lot.
It's amazing. I really enjoy, as a journalist, again, controversial insights right up my alley. So
It's not controversial.
it's not.
It's the fact nobody wants to say.
You heard that. I didn't say it, he did. Anyways, so the last question I want to ask you before we let you go is Nodwin Gaming, what kind of collaborations can we expect in the future?
Oh, we've done some really cool one already. Like we've done quite a few of them. We bought Comic Con recently. We've expanding Comic Con to 11 cities now. We really want pop culture to come out, and we want to give platforms to the youngsters to really come out and express themselves. Comic Con's all about pop culture, anime, video games, expressing your art. So that's one part. That's one big one that we expanding. We already work with Star on taking BGMI mainstream. We were the first ones to take it on television. We continue to grow the league. We want to continue to invest in that. We just announced a partnership with Endemol for content. We'll see a lot more gaming related reality shows that we're working on in the future. We're working with the EWC guys in Saudi for the Esports World Cup. There's an India team finally at the Esports World Cup now. So there'll be a bunch of content coming from there. I know that the aspirations for us to reinvent NS7 Weekender, which was basically bought over by OML. So we want to reinvent the festival. We want to reinvent how music and gaming can go hand in hand as well. And hopefully by that time I'm 50 years old and I don't need to work anymore, and I can retire because I don't want to work for 10 years. I think I want to travel the world. And so apart from Nodwin, like most of us in Nodwin who are young, like not young, but like in our 40s, like we all believe that, another good 5-10 years, we all want to like relax in life, like we work hard. We've done our bit, and kids are grown up. Now let's go enjoy, spend our life on some remote island, I guess.
Amazing. Okay, we're looking forward to seeing you on a remote island. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was amazing meeting you and speaking with you.